Good morning, students. Today we will learn about how early Western feminism began. This is a very important topic. Let us first understand one simple thing. What is feminism? Feminism means the belief that women and men should have equal dignity, equal respect, equal chances, and equal rights. That is the basic meaning. Now, early feminism in the West did not begin with big protests only. It began with something very powerful. It began when women started writing back. They started writing back against male control, unfair rules, forced silence, lack of education, unequal marriage, social insult, legal injustice. For many centuries, men wrote books telling women how to behave, how to speak, how to dress, how to obey, how to remain silent. Women were expected to be quiet, modest, obedient, dependent, less educated. But some brave women said, "No, we can think. No, we can write. No, we deserve education. No, we are not less than men." And this is how early Western feminism began. 1. Christine de Pizan, 1364–1430. One of the earliest feminist writers. Christine de Pizan is often called one of the first feminist writers in Europe. At a time when many male writers insulted women, she wrote back in their answer. She did something very important. She defended women with logic and writing. Important book. The Book of the City of Ladies, 1405. What did she say? She said, "Women are not naturally inferior. Women are intelligent. Women deserve education. Women have made great contributions to history." Her main contribution. She challenged the idea that women were weak or foolish. She showed that many bad ideas about women were created by men's prejudice, not by truth. Simple key idea. Women are capable, but society does not treat them fairly. Christine de Pizan is important because she was one of the first women in the West to openly defend women in writing. Encyclopedia Britannica. 2. Laura Serreta, 1469–1499. A voice for women's education. Laura Serreta was an Italian writer of the Renaissance. She wrote letters in which she spoke strongly about the condition of women. Important book/work. Epistolae Familiares, 1488. Personal letters. What did she say? She said, "Women are not born less intelligent. Women are kept behind because they are not educated. Marriage often limits women's freedom. Women should use their minds and learn seriously." Her main contribution. She made it clear that lack of education, not lack of ability, was the real problem. Simple key idea. Women are not weak in mind, they are simply denied opportunity. She helped move the discussion from women's nature to women's conditions. That was a big step. Encyclopedia Britannica. 3. Jane Anger, 16th century. One of the first English women to write back publicly. Jane Anger is remembered as one of the first women in England to answer male attacks on women. At that time, many male writers mocked women in pamphlets and public writing. Jane Anger answered them directly. Important book/work. Jane Anger, Her Protection for Women, 1589. What did she say? She said, "Women should not be insulted. Men often judge women unfairly. Women deserve dignity and defense." Her main contribution. She was one of the first women in England to say, "We will not stay silent while men speak badly about us." Simple key idea. Women must answer injustice with their own voice. This was an early act of feminist resistance through writing. Encyclopedia Britannica. 4. Moderata Font, 1555–1592. A writer who argued for women's worth. Moderata Font was an Italian writer. She wrote about women's intelligence, virtue, and suffering under male control. Important book. The Worth of Women, 1600. Il Merito del Don. What did she say? She said, women are just as capable as men. Men often make unfair rules for women. Women deserve respect and freedom. Her main contribution. She questioned the social system that gave men power and women silence. Simple key idea. Women have value, intelligence, and moral strength. Her work helped early feminism become a more open challenge to patriarchy. Encyclopedia Britannica. 5. Mary Estelle, 1666–1731. One of the first great English feminist thinkers. Mary Estelle is often called the first English feminist. She was one of the earliest women to argue clearly and strongly that women should have serious education. Important book. A Serious Proposal to the Ladies, 1694. What did she say? She said, women have minds just like men. Women should study and think deeply. Women should not be trained only for marriage. Women need intellectual freedom. She also asked a famous question. If all men are born free, how is it that all women are born slaves? This is a very powerful feminist question. Her main contribution. She connected women's education with women's freedom. Simple key idea. If women seem less intelligent, it is because society refuses to educate them. This is one of the most important ideas in early feminism. Encyclopedia Britannica. 6. Olympe de Gouges, 1748–1793. A writer who demanded political rights for women. Now we move to the time of the French Revolution. This was the age when people were talking about liberty, equality, rights, citizenship. But there was a problem. Most of these rights were being spoken of for men only. Olympe de Gouges challenged this. Important book/document. Declaration of the Rights of Woman and of the Female Citizen, 1791. What did she say? She said, if men have rights, women must also have rights. Women are citizens too. Women deserve political equality. Women should not be excluded from public life. Her main contribution. She turned feminism into a political demand. She said women do not need only kindness. They need rights. Simple key idea. No equality is real if women are left out. She was very bold, and that made her dangerous to the system. Encyclopedia Britannica. 7. Mary Wollstonecraft, 1759–1797. The most important early feminist writer. Now we come to one of the greatest names in the history of feminism. Mary Wollstonecraft. If you remember only one name from today's class, remember this one. She is often called the mother of modern feminism. Important book. A Vindication of the Rights of Woman, 1792. This is one of the most famous feminist books ever written. What did she say? She said, women are not naturally inferior to men. Women only appear inferior because they are denied education. Society trains women only to please men. Women should be educated as rational human beings. Women deserve equality in education, work, and public life. Her main contribution. She gave feminism a strong philosophical and political voice. She argued that women are not ornaments. They are thinking human beings. Simple key idea. Women are not born less, society makes them less. This is a revolutionary idea. Mary Wollstonecraft made early feminism much stronger and clearer than before. Her book is widely regarded as a foundational English-language feminist text. Encyclopedia Britannica. 8. Margaret Fuller, 1810–1850. An important early feminist writer in America. Margaret Fuller brought feminist ideas strongly into the United States. Important book. Woman in the 19th Century, 1845. What did she say? She said, women need freedom of mind and life. Women should not be limited by gender roles. Women deserve equality in society and thought. Her main contribution. She helped make feminism a serious social and literary issue in America. Simple key idea. A woman should be free to become her full self. Her book is often seen as one of the first major feminist books in America. Wikipedia. 9. Elizabeth Cady Stanton, 1815–1902. A leader of first-wave feminism. Elizabeth Cady Stanton was not only a writer, but also a powerful organizer. She helped turn feminist thought into a social movement. Important document. Declaration of Sentiments, 1848. This document was presented at the Seneca Falls Convention, one of the first major women's rights meetings in America. What did she say? She said, "Women deserve equal civil rights. Women should have the right to vote. Women should have legal and social equality." Her main contribution. She helped move feminism from books into organized public action. Simple key idea. Women are equal citizens and deserve equal rights. This is where early feminism became a movement for law and public change. Encyclopedia Britannica. 10. Sojourner Truth, 1797–1883. A powerful voice for women and black women. Sojourner Truth was a former enslaved black woman in America. Her voice is very important because she showed that not all women suffer in the same way. She brought together gender, race, freedom, dignity. Important speech. Ain't I a Woman, 1851. What did she say? She said, "Black women are also women. Women's rights must include all women. Women are strong, human, and worthy." Her main contribution. She made feminism broader and more honest. She showed that feminism must speak for all women, not only privileged women. Simple key idea. Women's dignity must include poor women and black women too. She is a very important early feminist voice. Encyclopedia Britannica. How early Western feminism began, in one clear line. So students, if we want to say it in one simple sentence, we can say this. Early Western feminism began when women started writing back against male control and demanded education, equality, dignity, freedom, and rights. That is the clearest way to understand it. What were these women fighting against? They were fighting against many unfair ideas. For example, they opposed the idea that women are less intelligent. Women should only marry and obey. Women should not study. Women should not think politically. Women should not write publicly. Women should not have rights. They demanded education, self-respect, equal treatment, voice, legal rights, political rights, human dignity. This is why their writing was revolutionary. Main stages of early Western feminism. Let us understand the development clearly. Stage 1. Defending women. Writers like Christine de Pizan, Jane Anger, and Moderata Font defended women against insult and prejudice. Stage 2. Demanding education. Writers like Laura Serreta, Mary Estelle, and Mary Wollstonecraft said women need serious education and intellectual respect. Stage 3. Demanding rights. Writers like Olympe de Gouges, Margaret Fuller, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and Sojourner Truth demanded political, legal, and social equality. So early feminism grew step by step. From defense to education to rights. That is a very good way to remember it. Short classroom conclusion. Conclusion. Early Western feminism began not with noise, but with voice. Women who were expected to remain silent began to speak. Women who were expected only to obey began to question. Women who were expected only to please began to think, write, argue, and demand justice. These early feminist writers changed history because they taught the world one powerful truth. Women are fully human. Women can think. Women can write. Women deserve equality, dignity, and rights. And that is how early Western feminism began. Important names to remember: Christine de Pizan, The Book of the City of Ladies; Laura Serreta, Epistolae Familiars; Jane Anger, Her Protection for Women; Moderata Font, The Worth of Women; Mary Estelle, A Serious Proposal to the Ladies; Olympe de Gouges, Declaration of the Rights of Woman; Mary Wollstonecraft, A Vindication of the Rights of Woman; Margaret Fuller, Woman in the 19th Century; Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Declaration of Sentiments; Sojourner Truth, Ain't I a Woman?